Hello, Gemini, and welcome to your monthly forecast. I'm Nicholas Ashbaugh. It's great to see you. This reading, as always, can be used for Sun, Rising, Moon, and Venus. Let's get started with the channeled messages. The first thing that I saw in dreams was actually one of my guides coming through, and they had two cards for me to look at, the Three of Swords and the Moon. And as I looked at the cards, I could even just see what looked like a little bit of moisture beaded up on them as well. And this really just shows me, whenever I see like water, it is emotions, heightened emotions. So for many of you, there's a healing moment that needs to happen, possibly at the very beginning of the month, since this was the first thing that I picked up on. And the moon is a highly powerful, highly intuitive card, but the only thing that can block it is fear. And the Three of Swords can sometimes indicate rejection. And so we could put the two together, and I didn't even put it in the card because it's coming through as I'm interpreting it here live, but fear of rejection, possibly a fear of some sort of a pattern in the past that might repeat. Again, it could be around rejection, or it could just be you're trying to protect your heart from disappointment. That's another thing that the Three of Swords can be. Or just not to be hurt, no pain. But the interesting thing is there's the whole sort of gamut of emotions that we go through. Pain is one of them, but it's not the only thing. And if we are afraid of experiencing a moment of setback or pain or disappointment, we could also miss out on joy, accomplishment, elation. So this is in many ways just Spirit saying, you've got nothing to fear. It's already been played out on the table, right? It's in the past. This is a time for you to lean into your heightened intuition, your heightened emotional sensibility, and just trust in your ability now to navigate using the lessons of the past. That being said, you may need a little bit of assistance in getting through something, whether it intimidates you or, stirs up feelings of fear or rejection from the past. Now is the time to do the healing. The reason I say that is because I get this big wave of creativity, possibly even love that's coming through. So the next thing that I saw was, I felt it. There was no image associated with it. It just felt like a wave of energy. And if you've ever gone out swimming and you felt one of those waves during high tide, you know what I'm talking about. It almost pulls you under. So I featured the King of Cups here because he knows how to navigate that. He can do that through choosing sort of like creative outlets. I think it would be a great time not only to have meditation, but also something creative like art or dance or just something that you can do with people that you love so that the passion has a place to flow. That being said, there were three big things that I feel are incoming for you in the month of July. Passion and love, creativity and ideation, the ability to brainstorm and develop things, and this is really useful for those of you that are more interested in business and personal development, but persuasive communication. So if there's something that you need to convey to someone, you can use all of the emotional sensitivity and your intuition to find a way to do it that's going to be appealing and sensible to them. And basically, you can just be a really great communicator this month if you want to. But love, passion, creativity, and persuasive communication is yours to have, provided you do a little bit of the healing work that I picked up on first. The fact that it was on the table to me basically says this has already been played out, but for some reason there's just a little bit of healing to be done. And as we take a look at the cards here in just a moment, I'll look for those healing opportunities and highlight them. And with that being said, let's get straight into the cards and see what's coming through. Take a moment, if you will, close your eyes, clear your mind of any sort of preconceived notions. Let's just welcome in angels, spirit guides, and ascended masters, allowing you to see what you need to. And again, just getting out of the way of any sort of initial reactions, releasing fear, and let's get started. Again, welcome everybody. Good to see you. Well, I have to say I like what I see here. I'm using one of my favorite old decks here as well. Love the rich colors. Oh, wow. So much love coming through for you, Gemini. So much love. New beginnings. I mean, this could also just be you finding a way to connect with yourself, love yourself, but wow. So far, I know you've been waiting a little bit longer this month because I reversed everything. It's been worth the wait. Everything comes through at the right time. So let's finish up the shuffle and then we'll get started in interpreting it. I'll save most of my commentary for just a moment, but I love the synchronicity here. We have shadow and light. So this is definitely a month for working through the shadow, seeing the light, seeing the silver lining. Okay. Powerful, powerful reading right off the bat. I can already see it. And we've got so much to talk about today, starting with your Catalyst card. You received a card titled Darkening, and this could really just be summed up as shadow energy. And it's absolutely connected to what I was talking about in dreams and meditation, where I saw the need to transmute the Three of Swords and the Moon. Fear, sadness, pain, they're all energies that are associated with shadow. What I love on this planet, in our experiences, every day we see the sun rise and set. When you're in a certain emotional state, it ebbs and flows. And I've been talking to the last 2 or 3 signs about this. So if you're currently in this sort of shroud of the unknown, if you're, just a few moments before dawn, dawn will break. And this is what you really want to focus on, is dealing with the shadow, dealing with the fear or the anxiety, and letting go so that you can hold space for something else to take its place. One of the things that I do when pain comes in as a teacher for me is eventually I get to the point where I've had my fill, and I simply say, I'm done now. Thank you for the lesson. Thank you for the experience. It wasn't joyful. It wasn't fun, but I learned a heck of a lot. But I don't need to repeat this anymore. So I return to sender now. I'm ready to receive an upgrade, something bigger, better, and brighter. So allow yourself to release pain as a teacher. And in doing so, this beautiful bird is sitting on top of an onyx egg here. So there is this moment of rebirth or genesis. Something else will come in and it will be bigger, better, and brighter, like I said. You have hidden strength that is being revealed in this period of time. Often when we are facing what seems like an insurmountable obstacle, we find friendship, we find this inner power that we didn't know that we had, or we find a way to think ourselves out of a situation. You're learning to kind of discover this new depth to your character. And after this, the context that you now have is going to help you weather any storm. So for those of you that have been through it, I'm just validating it. If you find yourself at some point during the month going through a challenging situation, remember, it will not last forever. With each night, there comes a new dawn. And you're right on the precipice of it. I feel like you're just a few minutes before the new dawn. So keep the faith, focus on the horizon, and lean on the inner strength here. That's the first message that comes through. If you need any assistance, you can also lean on others, since the light card came in the area of love. So there's someone around you that can give you the support. And oh my goodness, did the love come through here. Let's just take a moment to observe the cards. You did not get the Tower, the Ten of Swords, or the Devil. Instead, you got relationship and love and all the Cups cards galore. In fact, we have one of the most stable cards that you can get in the Minor Arcana at the center. And look at this. Magician, Four of Wands, Two of Cups, Lovers. I couldn't kind of develop something better than what came through from Spirit here when we're looking at the ideal spread for partnership, relationship, or attraction. And it's all there, folks. I don't want to get too far ahead of myself, but I'm excited about what I see here. Let's start with that centermost card, the Four of Wands. So foundationally speaking, this is what you're looking for. In friendship, it's someone that will be there for the distance. In love and relationships, for better or for worse. And when you're creating something that you're really excited about, you could be attracting the right kind of people and opportunities that are going to stick with it and really help you build something amazing. This is a good card for construction, for organization, for inner development, and yes, for love. It can represent marriage or proposal, or a relationship that is going to go far deeper than you might have originally imagined. So what an amazing card. I think you might have one of the best ones of all the signs this month. Foundationally speaking, it's up to you what you want to focus on. Wherever you put your energy, I feel like it has, the ability to really stay the distance. So yay for that. What's crossing this card? We have the Queen of Swords. This is you, first of all, Gemini. You could also be attracting a similar strong power here. Another air sign or someone that just sees what you have to offer and says, yes, please. It could come in the form here in opportunities of the Queen of Cups. So I was picking up on that water sign when I was looking at dreams and energy. And that's attached here to the Lovers. So this is you. This is what you're pulling in. So there's still a little bit of work in the balancing here, but you've done your part, which is what I like. So we'll look at that person in just a second. Focusing on you, though. Obviously, using the power of your voice to make an impact and a difference. If you have something to say, now's the time to say it. If you've been laying down the foundation or the plans to begin something, construction time begins right now. Roll up your sleeves, get busy. People are ready to follow your lead. And that's all I have to say on this one. It's a great position for this. It's not reversed. It's crossing the center card. So your communication attracts others. You can be a leader this month if you want to. In the karmic past, here's your one challenge. Sometimes it's not clear just how much you have until you're already halfway through or it's already come and gone. So I'd love for you to take a moment, pause, and really think to yourself, just like I'm looking and I see lovely Apollo behind me. Look at who's got your back. Look at who's always there, and give a little bit of love and appreciation for that person. If something didn't go the way you wanted it to, let's quickly look at the first message here that I was talking about. So there might have been a past disappointment. This card was reversed, but this person is focusing on the 3 cups, just like the 3 swords, something that didn't work out. But look at what's right here, these 2 cups. That could be good news, it could be love, it could be some sort of a door or window of opportunity that's presenting itself. All you have to do is shift your perspective. This is one of the cards of mourning, and they did a beautiful job showing it here. I mentioned I saw the little drops on the card, just like teardrops. Here's where they are. Here's where they're from. So there's something that still is having a lasting impact on you. And in a recent weekly collective, I think it was just this last week here, I talked a little bit about grief. It ebbs and it flows. You never truly get over the loss of someone, especially if it's a person. They just come back into your thoughts sometimes, and it can be with varying waves of intensity. And then you move on. You integrate that experience into the new chapter of your life. You never forget someone. You never completely get over them, but you learn to sort of wrap your head around the new reality. So give yourself a moment to process what was. Give yourself a couple of extra moments to embrace what could be and who's there right now. Because again, just to kind of show you what's going on here, apologies for the street noise, we have a lot of love, the 4 of Wands, the 2 of Cups, and the Lovers. You've been doing the work. That's why it's coming through. We have Magician energy coming through in the recent past. This is you focusing, really starting to work your magic. And this reminds you that anything you put your mind and energy behind, again, especially this month, you can see it kind of go the distance and really grow beyond expectations. This almost has an Excalibur vibe to it, the way she's holding that sword. And it's really getting behind the air sign energy here. So speaking, acting, and believing. Believing in all of what you are saying and doing. That's key. If you don't believe it, whatever you're saying is not going to be as persuasive. If you don't feel it, you're not going to be as effective in whatever you're doing. And if it doesn't spark your inspiration, if it doesn't get you excited, it may be a little bit more laborious to do in the long run. So I would love for you to really feel that sense of passion. It's really passion, desire, and drive. It all comes because of the connection in the heart space, okay? But the card is upright, so follow your passion, work your passion. We have in the crowning position an Ace of Pentacles coming through because of that. Someone is willing to invest or take a chance on you or connect with you because you believe in yourself, because you've been putting that hard work in. And again, they're like, yeah, let's connect. This can also be, this is good stuff, folks. It could be an invitation for love or partnership. It could be a new job or growth opportunity that's presenting itself. And what I like about it is it feels like it's something that would reciprocate. Oddly enough, the person that you're pulling into your life right now may have less confidence than you do. I think working on that past energy, there's a little bit of shadow energy around confidence, can help this shift so it's more equal. Look at your two aces. So we have the magician here working her magic. We have an opportunity for you to see to see the abundance around you. So the Two of Cups, which showed up, but then we also have the two things. I mentioned this doesn't have to just be love. It could be two things in your life that you love. You could be choosing between two people, Two of Cups and Lovers. It could be an abundance of options. And that could be causing the Moon and the Three of Swords. So by the way, an entirely different interpretation coming through as we're walking through all the cards here. Be honest with yourself and be honest with others. If you happen to find yourself in a situation where you're choosing between two people or two opportunities that are interested in you, make a choice and release the other one so that they can also find someone who's equally connected. It's hard to do that. And maybe you're trying to hedge your luck and bets and everything, but you're going to have to make a choice eventually. And this is the time to do so. It should feel, without a shadow of doubt, easy. These three cards are easy. This is just chemistry. This is chemistry. This is passion. It's just, you get this sense of, I want this, whatever it is, whether it's a job or a relationship, a house that you're buying, I don't care. Whatever is coming in, you just feel good. You don't really even need advice on it. It feels right. If you have two choices and one of them feels more like that than the other, choose the one that feels better and then let the other one go so that, again, a better connection can find that. Can you find love? Absolutely. I don't focus on it. You know me, Gemini. If it's not in the spread, it's not the central focus, but it is in yours. It's all about people this month. It's all about love. And it may be about two opportunities in front of you and you have to kind of pick which one you love more. But can you find someone? Yes. It's a great time for networking in business. It's a great time for meeting new people if you want to expand your friend or sort of acquaintance circle. And of course, the third thing, it's a great time for love and relationships. And if you're already in love, you can deepen this connection this month and really take it the distance. Again, I keep saying that. It just feels like you're getting to the finish line and you're getting where you want to be even faster than usual. And I would not be surprised if someone comes through and approaches you with an offer. If you want to offer someone else something, there's a good chance of them saying yes. Okay, so far so good. You're coming through exactly the way I'd like you to when it comes to looking for love or looking for opportunity. I want to get an Ace of Cups and I want to see it in the upright position. Why, you ask? Because it's overflowing. This means in whatever you seek, it's not because there's a missing piece of you. And you're not looking for your better half. You're not looking for the missing link or any of that. What you're doing is you're shining with this brightness and this integrity and this passion, and someone else comes in with the same sort of energy, and you're like, we can be partners, not teachers. So this is a great time for like energy to attract like energy, and that's why you shouldn't have to settle for less than that this month. So if someone's trying to get you to compromise and it doesn't feel right, don't do it. You worked too hard to get to this point. I've been reading for 10 years, and this is one of the best readings for Gemini, right? So please embrace it. I haven't seen this in a long time, and this is a powerful month for you. Again, by far the best of July so far. I still have 2 more to do after this, but you're looking pretty great. Now we have, if I needed to find a challenge, here's your challenge. There could be someone around you whom you care and love deeply, but they need or want a little bit too much. It could be a parent. We have this sort of maternal energy in the background. It could be Also like a coworker, a boss, or someone around you that knows exactly how loving and giving you are. And they may not listen to your cues when you're trying to give them a hint, saying, I really need to get going, or, I've given about as much as I can tonight. I need to get some rest. And they're like, oh, just one more thing, or wait a second. Oh, I know you want to finish this. They can lay it on thick, and you're going to need to have strong boundaries there. There could also be pressure to meet up to this, whatever this might be for you. It could be your family's expectation of what they want you to be, whether that's, successful in a certain industry, married, or living a certain type of life, and you have to follow your heart. You're not living in a movie to please other people. You're living your own story. You're writing your own story. So reject the script that's presented to you and write your own. That's all I can say with this from that perspective. The other thing here is, if it's not reciprocated, we see that there is something out there that will be. So don't accept something if you're not feeling it, or if you know the other party isn't. It's really important in this moment in time for that reciprocity to be present. Let's move from the environment to hopes, fears, and opportunities. We have the Queen of Cups coming through in the reverse state. Interestingly enough, I think some of you are just trying to possibly wrap your head around some good news or an opportunity and think to yourself, do I deserve it? Can I do it? A little bit of the imposter syndrome could be coming through. Let's release that. That's really more of the shadow energy coming through and just trying to get in your headspace. And instead, really embrace all the good stuff that we were talking about in this particular part of the channel messages. There's this wave of creative energy that wants to kind of rush through you and allow you to be the channel. And the magician, by the way, is a channel. So if you choose to channel and work with this, passion and love, creativity and ideation, and persuasive communication are yours to have. But one of the things, actually, I'll bring it up one more time. It's important for you to not lose your head, to stay grounded. And for some of you, it's difficult to feel safe, grounded, and ready for something if you're rushed. So my advice to you is to proceed slowly, to just allow things to kind of set in a bit. And then once that happens, I feel like you're going to start to get a sense of excitement and joy and feel sort of like the sense of reality setting in, okay? But until it does, wait, okay? We don't want you settling, and we don't want you to feel rushed this month. Those are two really big takeaways. There could also be something that is trying your patience. Could be a person. This is someone who needs a lot. So they're going to need a lot of a validation. They may come through, and no matter how much you say you did a good job, or you look great, or that's perfect, they don't listen to that. They don't believe it. That can get exhausting. So if you know someone like that this month, the outcome card is suggesting that you give them space and possibly just move in a different direction. And if it's meant to be, it'll be meant to be. Otherwise, that person needs better coping mechanisms and could be leaning more than they need to be leaning on you. So you want to give them a chance to develop. We have travel and new opportunities, new beginnings, a fresh start, all advantageous things since this card was in the upright position. The Fool is also very unbothered. I love that she's just sort of like, take it or leave it. Whatever I am putting out there, this is the best that I have to offer. Based on what I'm looking at in the spread in front of me, I really do feel like if you've done everything that you can, if you've worked with integrity, you should have that feeling of confidence. It's going to take you far in negotiation and in love. And it can be both this month. One of the cool things is it doesn't have to be an either or. You don't have to choose this month necessarily between success and happiness. Both things could be on the table. Let's expand a little deeper into all of these categories so we can read those energies with more precision. We're going to start off in this health, wealth, love, and destiny journey with health, which is your mind, body, and spirit. Let's see what the oracle card had to say here. So the card is reversed, and we have this all-encompassing energy. So Mother, Father, God. We see the connection here to spirit, this outstretched hand. And this, for many of us, is what represents the big part of our life. We are trying to get away from the past or move beyond the sort of like day-to-day life and reach for something bigger, grasp. What is this all about? What am I supposed to be doing? What's the higher purpose? So that's the grasping hand towards source. But let's talk about this a little bit. We come into the planet and we are very reliant on the initial family unit, whatever it might look like. whether it's your parents or grandparents or whoever was responsible for taking care of you. But the liberating piece in this is that that energy isn't going to be around forever, and you eventually learn to rely on you. You are a combination of all of this. You can take care of yourself, and you can connect to source. You are free from the constraints and the defining expectations of your past, especially your family. So for those of you that didn't have an ideal growing up experience, or it was so perfect that you feel like, how can I live up to that? Let it go. You get to live your own life. You get to write your own script. And that is the liberating piece that I'm seeing here. And as I said earlier, you have more strength, more potential, and more possibilities than you might give yourself credit for. It's just a matter of realizing it's always been here. There's a song by Taylor Swift on her Midnights album where she talks about, you're on your own, kid, you always have been. It's not necessarily a depressing song. It's a realization that when you start to grow up and the naivete of youth is gone, what's replaced is strength, power, and possibility. You're finding your inner magician this month, if you choose to. This goes way beyond health. This is more like, it is health because of the emotional piece, but this is like spiritual growth. So that can help you be healthier and happier because you learn to rely on yourself and trust yourself. And that's the first takeaway. Now let's break it down and look at each individual kind of card and see how it might break down into your health. Okay, so here's what I see for you. With the most important thing for you this month is dealing with emotions, dealing with stress, and staying present. So this is a card where the lens is more on nostalgia and would've, could've, should've. Those 3 cups could be titled that instead of I can and I am. So refocusing and reframing the narrative. That's lesson number 1. Many of you are loved. I can't always say that, but I can say it here. But with this sense of community and friendship also comes expectations. Sometimes it's a lot to live up to those expectations. What gives you a sense of purpose? What gives you a sense of passion? Let that be what helps you navigate forward. Health is very unusual this month. It's about emotions and spiritual grounding more than it is even individual things in your body. It's a deeper sort of journey this month, if you will. And that's okay. Each reading is different. Let's look at some other things here. If I had to pick up some things in your health, if there's anything that is causing fear, whether you're like, I'm afraid to get that checked out, most of the cards are good this month. So knowledge is power, and it looks like you might be putting more weight or more fear into something than is necessary. So I would encourage you to ask the questions. Get the support if you need to. Have someone hold your hand if you need a test done or if you need to go to the doctor. Get the support. It's all about love and feeling community this month, okay? If you need some free time or some freedom from all of that, some of you are feeling maybe suffocated or too much pressure. This is about finding space. The Fool is walking your own path, getting some space and distance in your life, walking away if you need to, and then you can come back once your mind is cleared. The Magician can also have to do with making sure that everything that you're doing is complementary. This can have to do with like the diet and any prescriptions that you're on, or your exercise and any sort of things you might be dealing in your body with. You just want to make sure that one thing helps the other, that there's no sort of like clashing energies. Other than that, things look fairly manageable. It's emotions this month that are the big sort of pressure point. Relationships and emotions. So there could be someone who needs a lot from you, and there could just be a lot that you're dealing with. And then that can foster things like fear, anxiety, or even depression. And if you're going through any of that, reach out, get some support, get some guidance, because once you do that, you can start to embrace the opportunities here. And that's it. I'm looking at this. This could also be parental pressure, like I said, or pressure from whatever faith group you might be connected with. The Fool and this particular Fool energy here is about being yourself, not feeling like you have to please all of those different forces, which may be sometimes in opposition. So a much more deeper message in health. It's about spiritual grounding, emotional wellness, and fixing your sort of focus on possibilities rather than would've, could've, or should've. Let's move on into wealth. This is going to be resources, life purpose, and career. You have a really interesting card that came through here in the form of the anchor. This can be seen as something good. If you want to stay put for a little bit, you have the ability to make it work right now because the center card was the Four of Wands. This is stability and a foundational card. An anchor would be able to keep that energy present. So I like that. The only thing that you want to avoid or be mindful of is leaning into the fear energy that we talked about here in the Moon card or the Three of Swords. So fear of rejection or maybe even just fear of being misunderstood, that can actually serve as an unwanted or less than ideal anchor. So we want to release those types of anchors, and then if we find something we like, now might be the time where you decide to put some commitment or some energy behind that. Let's take a deeper dive into three categories. Those of you that are in a job or employed, those that are seeking employment, and then retirees and students. So for those that are either self-employed or have a job at a traditional company, here's what I see. People may want to keep you there. This anchor represents the value that you bring. So this is, again, commitment. This is love and appreciation. And these are needy cards. I mentioned that before. They need you. This is actually a good thing when we're looking at wealth. They want to keep you where you're at. Do you feel like you're getting what you want out of this? This is a question that can only be answered by you. Do you feel a sense of fulfillment? And are you getting what you need when it comes to money? I don't see we don't have like Wheel of Fortune, and I'm not looking at other money cards, so I just see the question here. But what I could say is if you don't have what you want, your negotiation skills are off the charts, so you have a chance of being able to facilitate it. If you have this itch for freedom or for flexibility, see what you can navigate in the current environment because, again, it's a favorable spread. So I think that your communication skills and your people skills can help you get what you want. It's worth a shot. And this is only if you feel stuck. What I do see Queen cards here. There are chances for development. It is about working the system. It's about networking and also explicitly saying, I want this. This is my offer, and they might give you a counter offer. It looks like you can arrive at something decent this month. But if I had to find a snag, and there is one, they may want to put either like a non-competition clause or keep you in it for a while. So it's kind of like when you sign a lease or a mortgage, it's for a set amount of time. Just make sure that you're not giving away too much. In many parts of the US, there are certain states that do not recognize non-competition clauses. Like if you quit, you can't work in a certain industry for a certain amount of time because it's not fair. But there are still some industries, some countries, some places where that kind of snag can be there. You want to look at intellectual property. And when we're looking at, for those of you that might be artists, when it comes to publishing rights or any sort of copyrights, you want to make sure you're not giving stuff away. And if there is a licensing period, that it's not too long because you want to be able to have the ability to work with your own material. So the anchor is here. It's the environment and it's what they want from you. They want to take a little more than they should. So you push back this month. You have a chance to not get stuck. So that's my big sort of message here is don't underestimate your power. Don't give away your power or your intellectual property or ideas. And they may be just as persuasive or may lay it on really thick. Like I said, you have to be strong in your negotiation skills. And if you need to say no and move in a new direction, you can. I feel like you have a really good chance of being able to land something new this month. But always better to have that in the hip pocket before. So, only say no or call your own bluff when you have something better waiting. But that's the main thing here is don't get stuck because of them getting a better end of this bargain. It needs to be mutually beneficial, 50-50. Okay. And this could be something hidden in the fine print. Let's transition from those who already have a job to those of you that might be job seeking. I actually quite like this for you as well. You have an ability, let's say for those of you that might be working in seasonal, temporary, or contract work. People may like you enough to want you to stay beyond the initial contract. So this bodes pretty well for you, actually. This is also good for entrepreneurial people that are trying to break into new markets or avenues. People get a little taste of what you have to offer and they're like, no, don't go away, more of that. So you have sticking and staying power, and that is something that you can leverage. It is all about the network and who you know. Absolutely, it's all people. So work that first and foremost. Go to conferences, go to gatherings, go to happy hours, go to power lunches, join online forums, do virtual meetups. It can take any way, shape, or form now. It doesn't matter, because we're in a very, sort of non-unusual world where it's not all in-person stuff. But if there is any in-person stuff, look at the power of proximity. Not only is it who you know, but it's who you can get FaceTime with. Literal FaceTime, not like picking up the phone. If you can find a way to connect in person, I feel like you can get what you're looking for this month when it comes to a job or opportunity. Keep it brief and concise and to the point. This Queen of Swords does not mince any words. Don't get too emotional. We want you to show passion and creativity, but cut the fluff, cut that out and really kind of get straight to the point. TikTok has kind of taken all of our attention spans and just YouTube Shorts, Instagram Reels, Facebook Stories, all of that. It's just taken it to the point where we have to get to the point in a minute or less. So when it's your email or presentation or whatever, get them in, anchor them in on that first slide, the first sentence. And that is also part of the power this month. But can you find something? Yes. You may have two opportunities in front of you. One of them, I like the foundation of it better. It feels like it intrigues you more. It feels like it's a safer or a more supportive space. It may be a little bit more junior. There's one that comes in a little bit more senior, but they're going to need a lot more from you. And that's the trade-off, like growth potential and this sort of sense of, I really like that group, but the pay or the title's better here. Pick the one where you're going to feel better in the long run. And I get it. Sometimes we're being strategic about this, but you have two good options in front of you. You're going to have to look at your own career and decide. I do think you can get at least a couple of opportunities, and one of them is more solid. One of them actually lands an offer. The other one may just be like, we'll keep in touch. But I think you can get at least a couple of interviews or a couple of phone calls this month and see where that goes. It may require for you to move. The Fool can be something of that nature. So if you're willing to relocate, yes, that's important. One final thought here. For some of you that are interviewing, they could be asking you to reflect on your past job, and they may ask why you left. Simple. Keep it simple, less is more, and stay as positive as you can. You could simply say, I needed to move on for personal growth reasons. I'd learned everything and done everything I could there, and there were only so many, that title of that role had already been filled and they weren't interested in promoting. So personal growth, that's it. That's fine. That's perfectly okay. Try not to point too much to bad management or bad morale. If they bring up something like that, you can say that was a contributing but not the ultimate factor. There were other things, and then try to list some again, positive personal growth things. This will help you come across as honest, rational, and also someone that they'd want to work with, because you're not just complaining about a past experience. You're seeing, even just saying, it helped me realize that it was time to move on because I did everything that I could, or, some of those challenges helped me to just be a better self-sufficient person. Keep it positive, keep it short, keep it simple, and then ask them a question as well. That's a great way to move beyond something tricky like that. All right, that's the last piece there. So we just looked at those that were employed. We looked at job seekers. I'd like to take a look at students now. Because I'm in the point of the year right now where it's graduation, I keep getting cards of change, growth, and new beginnings. So we have the Fool here, exactly what I would expect to see here at the midpoint of the year. Now is the time when you should be absolutely everything that I talked about earlier for job seekers is true for you. Network, lean on the alumni group, lean on friends and family, peers as well, anybody around you. This is your time to really reach out and let them know what you're looking for. Some of you that are still students and haven't graduated, it's time to reconnect with all the people that you might have not had a chance to do so while you were in school, but now you might be looking at internships. And it is also a great time to talk to people that are already out there in the industry, to save you time, to help you direct your course of study and your internships in the right direction. So that's a really powerful resource. You may have a couple of options on the table. For many of you, there's sort of, I feel like you're torn between two paths, a practical and a creative one. I can't tell you what to do there, but I will say when you love what you do, you'll be more successful at it. So it's important to make sure that there is a sense of joy and happiness in whatever it is that you do. This is true of everybody, but it's coming through for students the most, because you'll just be able to give 110% on a consistent basis, where if it's just the money or it's just the title, there comes a point where there's diminishing returns on that front. But overall, I like what I see. I actually am not looking at too much burnout. It looks like you're doing well. I see multiple opportunities presenting themselves for you. There's just maybe a little bit of pressure over enthusiasm from friends and family. So make sure that your boundaries are there and you're living a life that you love. I always like to say that for students. Shifting the focus to retirees. If you're single, newly single, or if you're looking to expand your friend network, now is the time. It's all about social energy and social networking. You may also find yourself engaged in one or more projects, whether it's volunteer or for pay or a combination. It's a busy month. I think the biggest challenge for retirees is trying to focus. The magician sometimes can have too many things in front of them, so don't be afraid to say no if you need to. Let's go ahead and dig a little bit deeper into the next category. Let's go into love and relationships. For many of you, this is the point that brings the most light or joy in this period, maybe even some levity. So if there's a lot of pressure, it's the friendships, it's these sort of like connections that are the foundation right now that help you feel a sense of purpose and help take away some of that stress and strain. Let's look at it in 3 different categories. Those in a relationship, seeking love, or happily single. If you're in a relationship, it's a good month. Things could simply go to a deeper level. Commitment, love, possibly marriage. Looks like both parties might be receptive to that. So if you've been together for a while but haven't kind of made it exclusive, we can see that. Now, for those that are in a relationship, there could also be a test this month. We could be looking at extended family coming in, especially a mother or sister-in-law or some sort of divine feminine energy that is kind of trying to get in the middle of everything. So you're going to have to maybe exercise better boundaries when that happens. We see for some of you children or a child or a birthing energy, which also would bring the extended family that I'm seeing here. For some of you, there could be an ex from the past that comes in and sees you in this new relationship, and it stirs up some energy. The cool thing, though, is I'm not really seeing a tower or devil or moon or 3 of swords here in this spread. It's in the past. So keep some of that energy in the past and focus on what you have here. There's a chance to go much deeper this month in your relationship, to really get to know one another, and to take a chance to try something different. I think that's the key. If there's any fears, anxieties, or uncertainties, bring it into the light of day. Don't focus so much on what other people think. This is about the 2 of you. You're the family, you're the foundation, and or your children as well, of course. But what your friends or your mom or your sister or whoever else is in the picture, they're trying to weigh in. This is a time to just take a step back and say, thank you very much. I appreciate it, but I'm good, right? Let's go ahead and move over now to look at those that are seeking a relationship this month. Can you find love? Yes, without a shadow of a doubt. 4 of Wands, 2 of Cups, lovers, yes. There are a few options that could be coming through. I think the past should stay in the past. We have the shadow energy right by this 5 of Cups, but there could be a little bit of healing to be done in this previous relationship. Could be someone very like you, like an air sign, or someone that just has similar personality traits, but this energy really should stay in the past. It could come through again. This person could look you up on social media. All these social cards could just be a message from an ex. Again, I think the past should stay in the past, except whatever you need to say or do to get the closure. I also see maybe a parent that means well or a friend that means well trying to set you up. This may not work. If you're looking for love, that setup is not, this person's picking someone that maybe they want, and vicariously they're hoping that, you'll be happy with them, and it's more of a it's their own filters. They're not thinking of you. And I've many times been set up by friends where I think, do you not know me at all? And I realize it's just because they're thinking of it from their perspective, or they're conflating just the fact that they think that one thing in common can overcome all these other differences. So I would actually say no to a setup this month if someone's trying to set you up. Push back on unfair or unnecessary sort of expectations from parents and family. You do it yourself. Do the networking yourself. You're going to be the better judge of who you like. And feel free, like I said, if you're not feeling the connection, to just be honest and move in another direction. This anchor can represent someone who really wants to settle down quickly or anchor you down quickly. I think it's important to have some fun and get to know them. The courtship process is important. Definitely have a heart-to-heart conversation and figure out, like, who is this person? Why are we talking? What is the true sort of connection? And you can't fake that connection. The magician shows how it should feel. Basically, just this spark, this sort of, if you felt it before, whether it's friendship or love, you know what I'm talking about. Butterflies, it's almost like a buzz of energy. Your heart skips a beat. You can't talk as well as you normally do. Or you're just a little, it's all those things that kind of take you out of your zone. Then this person is getting you a little bit nervous in the right way. But if you're not feeling that sense of passion or that sense of butterflies this month, I think it's really important to make sure that you hold out for that higher love, because I definitely see higher love coming through in the cards this month. For those of you that are retired, what a powerful month when it comes to networking. Friends, family, colleagues, people in the community, people in whatever faith you might be practicing, just across the board people. The challenge for some of you is maybe you're focusing more on keeping to yourself. This is a card of mourning and hermiting and looking at the past. Meanwhile, these two cups are sitting here saying, but look at all of this other stuff. So love may still find you this month, even if you're not looking for it. The power of detachment sometimes works in your favor. Be open to opportunity, whatever it might be this month. Love, abundance, and opportunity in the highest forms is definitely sort of knocking on the door. It just requires your ability to connect. Anything that you want to start this month, any sort of group activities where you need the support of others, just emphatic yeses across the board. I think the main thing here for you too is this ability to turn things around emotionally. So if you've been feeling a sense of, there's anything that you've had in the past that brought about sadness, regret, or frustration, or if you're just feeling a lot of heavy emotions, you have a chance now to turn the tide and turn it in your favor and find some like this new sense of levity and brightness. And again, through others, I feel like you can start to see the light that you shine out there because others reflect that back. It's just a really beautiful reading, no matter what your relationship status is. In Destiny, you have Aries, the god of war, coming through. The reminder with this is, if there's something that you want and you're willing to fight for it, you probably can get it. Make sure that you're fighting the good fight and fighting a fair fight as well. In this sort of persuasive presentation or argument, what you want to make sure that you're using is a combination of facts and that emotional component as well. There's a flip side, because for each of the light pieces, there's a shadow this month. And normally this is an angel, but in this deck, they chose to make it more in human form. I do believe that someone could be looking at what you have and there could be some jealousy. And they may be trying to trigger your jealousy or getting you to go in a rabbit hole. And then you look at who's around you or what's around you and you start to question it. Don't let one person do that. That, in this situation, is someone that's just trying to get the better of you. And you're going to push back and say, that doesn't bother me. That's your opinion and you're entitled to it. I don't believe that. So fight for what matters. Don't let someone else get under your skin, and don't read into something more than you need to, okay? Let's go a little bit deeper now and take a look at sun, rising, and moon sign messages and see what's coming through for you. Gemini, sun, rising, and moon. Starting first with Gemini, sun. It's a time to celebrate. The Nine of Cups is basically a card of elation, joy, and wish fulfillment. That definitely is a theme this month when we're looking at all those cards of love and sort of community and connection. Try not to make any major decisions when you are in a either extremely, elated form or extremely sort of frustrated form. Heightened emotions or intense emotions take away our ability to see the big picture. So for any important decision, if you are feeling high or low, wait a moment or two or a day or two before signing on the dotted line. Everything in moderation. This card shows something to the extreme. So if you're beginning something new, especially if it's learning something or if it's changing up the way that you meditate or eat or exercise, slow and steady. Don't go, 100% in on the first day. Take your time. We see someone here in a meditated pose, and that's really what you want to do is one breath, one step at a time, just like we saw here with the Fool energy. That will help you do something that's going to last in the long run. Okay? Moving on to rising sign messages. We have Queen of Pentacles. That's the third queen. We have Queen of Swords, Queen of Cups, now the Queen of Pentacles. She came through in the reverse state, which is about personal development. Don't be afraid to ask for what you need this month. If someone isn't delivering or if something's coming through and it's less than, this is typically the caretaker. She gets to take care of everyone else, but this month she gets to say, I need this, I want this, or this is important to me. And it's all right to do that, especially if you're a little out of practice. If you're wondering, will things work out? Look at that little bunny rabbit in the background. Yes, fertility, abundance, and growth are inherent to this card, but just don't rush it. Sometimes things need a moment or two to take root, to take shape, to take form, and all good things to those who wait. So just continue to work on yourself, work on whatever it is that you care about. And all the aces today, you've got two different aces here. They require development and time. And so let's not rush to the finish line. This is especially true for rising and ascendant. Now taking a look at Moon, we have the Five of Wands. Five of Wands in the reverse state. Some of you are just really, really tired of dealing with people that are not cooperative, not collaborative, or maybe trying to sort of step on someone else to get ahead. In this situation, you definitely want to rise up and be the leader. The next one in this suit is the Six of Wands. And you've got three of the four queen cards. So you definitely have the capacity to step into a leadership role or to show people how it should be done. If you need to, look what's right beyond this, a path. The Fool is saying, you know what, if you don't feel like you can accomplish what you need to in the environment that you're in, it's time to seek out greener pastures beyond that. Because it's difficult sometimes when you're in a situation where everybody has to talk at the same time or everybody has to be right. It just gets exhausting. So I feel for many of you, it's about rising above. This can also be a lack of motivation. So the focus on the horizon is really, why are you doing this? Why are you working so hard to make something happen? Getting back into the purpose helps you regain the focus, and then that's going to help you connect with your inner magician, which will then allow you to get to the finish line. All right, let's take a look at your final question for me today. It can be anything that I have yet to focus on or anything that you need just a little bit more clarity on. Take a deep breath, close your eyes, focus on the question. While you're doing that, I'm going to shuffle the cards and let's see what Spirit has to say. So it's time to let go of something. If it was a yes or no, I would say you can do better. It's a no. But this is why. There's something in your life where it's giving you enough or just enough, but it's not going to sustain you in the long run. And I usually refer to this as the devil you know. We see that coin right in front of her heart, and she's holding on to something because it's there, or it's safe, or it's somewhat predictable. But it's not fulfilling all the interests, all the higher good and the higher developmental opportunities here. And when it comes to money or equity, this is not there. There needs to be a little bit more negotiation and a little bit more work. We were talking earlier about the anchor. Someone may be trying to keep you too long or take too much of a share. So really make sure that you're negotiating for your fair share of something in a contract. In a relationship, this is someone who can't give you the level of commitment that you're looking for. And when it comes to just opportunities in general, this is something where, like I talked about the glass ceiling or something, there's only so far you can go. So it's an okay short-term sort of thing, but in the long run, time to release. Health energy around this, it's really important for you to focus on stress release, because this can be you holding on to things, particularly when it comes to shoulder, jaw, sometimes even just in your muscles, you could pull a muscle or something because you're just so tight. So this is a chance to focus on letting go, okay? And that's the big takeaway from that. All right, that is everything for this month. It was a powerful reading, and like I said, this is one of the most positive ones when it came to relationship opportunities. So do me a favor if you enjoyed this, like, subscribe, leave a comment below. You can also give me a follow on social media so you never miss out on a future video. If you'd like to give back, you can do so with super stickers, super chat, and also through memberships. Just a quick reminder, I don't offer private readings. I don't use direct messages on social media. If anybody does that, block, report, stay safe. Let me know about it as well. And that, my friends, is everything. Thank you so much for being the best part of what I do here on YouTube, for spending the better part of 50 minutes or so with me, and for working on yourselves. I appreciate it. I look forward to seeing you all soon. And in the meantime, wishing you all the best.